So, are we going to get screamy, yelly guy on your end, or what's happening?
Actually, I think they played a really good game. They just, it's the Canucks. It's the Canucks, okay? Okay. It ain't easy being a Coyotes fan, but it sure isn't easy being a Coyotes fan in the middle of Alberta. To the north of me are the Edmonton Oilers, and to the south of me are the Calgary Flames. And here I am, smack dab in the middle. So join me as I talk about the 23-24 Arizona Coyotes on Season 1 of the Albertan Coyotes Fan. So stay howling and go Yotes!
Yotes lose to the Vancouver Canucks, who, I kind of figured we'd lose to. After the last game, I mentioned that I'd probably be more mad if we had won it, and that holds true because we lost to Calgary. While I can be mad at this game, and I can be mad at the stuff that happened, and I should be mad at some of the stuff that happened, there were 2 fights in this game. O'Brien and Zadorov go at it. Carcone goes at it with Susie. We really upped our physicality in this game, and I don't know quite yet if I like it. I do like the physicality. I love the physicality. I love the fact that the game is a physical one, and that is a good means, a legal means in most cases, to get the puck and put the puck in the other person's net. I get that. I love it. That is the way that I want hockey to be. I want there to be hits. I want the bumps to happen. I want there to be things like the collision with Dumba last game, where the Flames player went flying up and over. But there comes a line, there comes a place where you have to draw the line specifically, where the physicality does not become who you are. And that's a thing that I think the Coyotes need to figure out on their end. We lost 2-1. I think I mentioned that. I may not have. Goal was scored by Vancouver, and then it was scored in the next 2 minutes, within that 2 minutes time frame, by Dermott for the Coyotes. That ties the game. Then the Canucks score another one. I'll have you know, a couple of those, maybe the second one only. No, the first one. The first one was on the power play. The second one was just after a power play had ended, so we were recuperating. The Vancouver Canucks power play is deadly. It is dangerous. We can't be underestimating it. We went on the power play, I believe it was either 3 or 4 times. That's 3 or 4 times too many. And a big part of that is we tried to ramp up the physicality. That's not necessarily who we are. We've got our guy for that. We've got O'Brien. But Kesselring, Jersey was getting into it, Carcone with the fight. There's no need for that kind of physicality in a position, in a game, where we are going to get burned 9 times out of 10. And that brings up my big point. The Coyotes need identity. They need to figure themselves out. I don't care if it's a dinner, like a team dinner. There was a bit of a joke from Jersey that was broadcasted by the Canucks where Jersey explained that he and the other defensemen plus the goaltenders will go out for dinners and they'll talk about stuff, and one of the things that they talk about is that they can't trust the forwards. Red flag right there. That is a red flag. They were trying to figure out whether it was a part of the bit or if it was joking. I'm kind of going towards the fact that it was probably a joke, but just in case it wasn't, the defense, the goaltenders, and the forwards are not 3 different teams. They are part of the Arizona Coyotes. When you've got Keller, Cooley, and, just for the sake of argument, Hayton, and then you've got Dumba and Kesselring, when you've got that, that's the Coyotes. That is the Coyotes right there. That is the Coyotes team on the ice trying to put the puck into the back of the net. If one line does not trust the other line, you will lose. You will lose the game because there needs to be chemistry. That goes for the goaltender as well. If the goaltender does not have chemistry with the guys who are trying to keep the goaltender from having to face all those shots, there's no chemistry. And what are we even doing? So already, I'm not liking what I'm hearing. I'm not liking the fact that that was even a conversation that happened. I'm not liking that Dursey said that, especially considering he's a new addition to the team. He should not be saying that at all. He's from the Kings. If you don't trust the team, go back to the Kings. Go back to them, because you need to be able to trust your team. This is a team game. It is not a defense game. It is not a forward game. It is a team game where the two work together. And on the note of the identity problem, is we don't know if we're technical or if we're physical, if we're fast or if we're methodical. We don't know. When we played the Flames, we looked faster against a more methodical team. The Flames kind of picked up on their speed a bit, but we looked a little bit faster than the Flames, but we were still very much more methodical. Someone told me recently that the Coyotes are more of a cycling team. They'll cycle the puck, and I've talked about this before. I'm kind of iffy on that because we don't do it well. We do it, and then we don't shoot and all that fun stuff. We had Genther to the mix. He'll actually shoot. That's good. But I don't think that's their identity. I think that's part of their structure. I do not think that's who they are. I think this team still has yet to find who they are, because we keep adapting, and adaptation is a good thing. I want to point that out. Adaptation is a really good thing, but we don't have anything concrete. The amount of giveaways that we give up, the amount of times where it does not look like we're talking, it doesn't look like we know what's going on. It seems like the Coyotes just don't have much of a game plan. And in a team sport like this, you need to have that game plan. So I think, first and foremost, if I were the coach of the Coyotes, and Lord knows I would not be a good one. I have never played hockey in my life. I'm kind of hoping for the chance to play my first official game coming up, hopefully on February 10th. I'll keep y'all in the loop about that, because it's a radio contest, which means that I might not get to go anyway, so this might be all for naught. But if I were the coach of the Coyotes, the first thing I would do is I would get a few plays that we do day in, day out. Game in, game out. Where we have our systems set up. We have our systems in place where maybe it's that fly that we do on the power play, or it's that cycling the puck and then taking a shot when we find something. I don't know. But we find something concrete. We find a good play. We find a good plan, and we stick to it. It doesn't matter what team we're playing. We stick to it. We adapt as the game goes on, but from the get-go, we go with a rough plan. That way we have the communication, because we've done it however many times in practice, to be able to do that kind of stuff, and you can trust that your team is going to be behind you where they need to be, because we have done this over and over and over again. When I was in basketball, back in high school, actually it wasn't even high school. You know what? Volleyball's a bit better. Volleyball's better for me. There is a play in volleyball called a quick. And if any of you, like some of the volleyball people who might see this will be like, oh yeah, that's the most fun play in volleyball, or something like that. Or maybe they hate it. I don't know. I liked it. But what a quick is you've got the net. The net is however tall it is. I think when I was still playing, this was high school, it would come like just above my fingertips if I was standing up straight and lifting my arms up like this. The ball is set in a position to be hit where it just leaves the setter's hands. It might go from the setter's hands to about, even right here. And then it's smacked down. The setter, the libero, and the rest of the team, which would be your middles, your powers, your techs, depending on what you call them, right side, some people call them, they could all be classified as like your forward, your defense, your goaltenders. They're different technicalities, they're different names, but they all have one job. They are part of the team. For us, it was the Wildcats. They were all part of the Wildcats. And not one player treated it as their own thing. The setters did not get together and roast us. We did not get together and roast the setters like, hey, you see that set that the setter just made? Yeah, what was he trying to do? Set the other team? We would not do that. Because that was unsportsmanlike. That took away from the team building. That took away from any chemistry that we had. And in a play like the Quick, where it has to be immediate, and you have to be able to trust the person you're setting to because it is immediate, there is no room for one person to be putting someone else down because then it's game over. In the same right, in hockey, it is the same idea. Not one player is better than the other player. The rookies better be treated just like the veterans. The veterans, yeah, they have their leadership jobs. They are there to lead. But they are not there to demean or belittle. That is not their job. As soon as you get drafted into the Coyotes, you get traded into the Coyotes, or some other way you miraculously get into the Coyotes organization, you are a Coyote. You are not a forward. You are not a defenseman. You are not a left or a right winger. You are not a goaltender. You are a Coyote. And that's what it needs to be. And maybe with some identity we can all realize that. I say that like I'm on the Coyotes, but I'm not. But you know what? I paid for a jersey that goes into their revenue. I'd like to think that I'm part of the Coyotes now. So, honorary Coyote right here. I say identity will solve the trust issue. If we find an identity and we stick to it, we can find that bond, that chemistry, where the trust issue no longer is a problem. This Saturday, in 2 days, we play the Nashville Predators. And I want to see, if I want to see anything in this game other than a win, because let's be honest, we all want the wins. I want to see some chemistry. I want to see some trust. I know it doesn't happen overnight, but we can at least try and trust a little bit. Even if it blows up in our face, we need to find the trust. In the meantime, stay howling, and go Yotes! Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can hit the like button. If you want to see more of what you saw, you can hit the subscribe button. If you didn't like it, I'm so surprised. You can hit the dislike button. It's fine. It's fine. I get it. This hair color, it's kind of rubbing me the wrong way too. So yeah, if you dislike the hair color, go ahead, hit the like button. Not the like button, the other button. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. If you want your friends to see this, because, hey, it's a Yotes fan in the wild. Especially in Alberta. It's a weird one. Share this with your friends, and I will see you on Saturday.